Yo, mama don't look right, boy. Which yeah. Uh-huh. It's the leftover from when we went. Mm-hmm.
At the confluence of the three rivers, the Ohio, the Allegheny, and the Monongahela, we are here at Pittsburgh's Acrisure Stadium. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Brooks. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on first and second down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
To the air goes Daniels. Escaping the pressure right. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for third down.
And that's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's fourth down. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. We'll call that a 41-yard punt. The net a little greater, though, following a loss on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion. Throwing to start the drive. McLean. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. You look at this Carolina defense. They've been pretty good against the pass. Not amazing, but good. Number 13 in the league.
So I'm prepping for this game. I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being top 10 in the league against the pass?
And?
Too many mistakes, especially little mistakes. And those add up into big mistakes. Big mistakes add up into points against you.
And he'll be stopped up at the 26 after a gain of only a couple. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big 3rd down play.
From the gun on 3rd down, McLean. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to be a yard short. Needed 4, but got 3. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And the punt goes out of bounds. Where will they put it? They'll put it just inside the 45-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Off the play fake. Daniels. Gonna look deep for Wilson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I love those corners who can not only cover, but don't mind getting a little physical as well. How about the coverage on that play, knocking that pass away?
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Daniels looking to throw. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. Here's the Panthers punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. A 41-yard punt there with no return, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest. You get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Flushed out right. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. It was Myles Murphy who fired in and got him to the ground. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. The Steelers send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taking on the midfield logo. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Panthers will take over in terrific field position. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Out to the right here to Wilson. Just a gain of a couple there. And it's 2nd down. This defense for the Steelers, they were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
Throwing now is Daniels. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Panther 1st down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
2nd and 10. Working out of the gun, Daniels. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big 3rd down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. A run out of the gun with Brooks. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Jonathan Brooks, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Panthers will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
Here's 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. McLean eluding the pressure right. Got his man complete over the middle. That's West. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a 1st down. They'll try the middle with Garindo. There he goes, right side. Inside the 10. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Isaac Guerrero, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are an extra point away from drawing level. Greg Joseph on for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. And he'll take this back down inside the 20. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way, and the head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a first and goal.
Defensively going forward, they're going to have to watch out for him on plays just like that. It's a drag route across the field, and they're trying to free him up and let him run after the catch. That won't be the last time we see that play, and it works there to pick up a first down.
Here's Guerrero on first down. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Isaac Guerrero with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Steelers have taken the lead. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter, and he's got both of them.
Well, he's certainly setting himself up for a big game here, and I think if the play caller doesn't get in his own way, they should keep riding him the entire way of this game. Until the defense proves they can stop him, that's what I would call.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Carolina. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Panthers are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. Well, that's pretty impressive, Charles. It's one thing to be an elite speed wide receiver and have all that yards after the catch into the end zone, but from your tight end?
Yeah, you don't get that very often. What you're describing is more like a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, and Antonio Brown. You're not talking about a guy that lines up or can line up in line and look like an extra tackle on running plays. He took that bad boy downfield just like he was a scat back.
Before the game, he told me, I'm going to have a zinger or 2 today. And I was like, oh, a zinger or 2? I guess that's a zinger, right?
That's a zinger.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now, but let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. 89 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. Again, it's Guerrero. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. These two teams all tied after one. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 13 forthcoming. Back to throw. McLean. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Looking to throw. McLean. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up. The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be the Panthers' ball, 1st and 10. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Here now, 2nd and 4. In motion goes the tight end. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. And he'll just get rid of it.
One thing you always worry about when he breaks the pocket is he going to take off with it? That time, the pressure was starting to close in, and he's just got to throw this one away.
Daniels from the gun on 3rd down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Panthers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on 1st down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
From the 48-yard line, here's a 2nd and 4. To throw is Daniels. That one completes him again. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll run straight ahead with Brooks to the 27-yard line.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Second down and 6 now. Now Daniels. Flush to his right. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a 1st down.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
Here's Daniels. This ball taken in here by Brooks. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina.
Jonathan Brooks with career touchdown number 60. And the Panthers have moved out in front.
Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover?
Oh, this is blocked. So after the blocked PAT, they're ready to kick this one off. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And it'll be an excellent return as he's all the way down inside the 25-yard line.
I know the special teams coach will not permit himself a smile here, but inside, he's glowing. This is what he practices for. This is what he schemes. This is what he watches tape to put himself and his team in a position to score points. An absolute dream return.
Throwing to start the drive. McLean. And it's intercepted at the goal line.
And the Panthers are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And he is out of bounds right around the 34. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Partner, the good ones have a clock running in their head, okay? Because it says something like this. I've got this many seconds to find the target. After that, I have to tuck it and try and get some yardage on this first down snap. He doesn't just get some yards, though. He gets a big gain, and they'll come right back with another 1st and 10.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. They'll stay on the ground with Brooks.
And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice, dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Escaping the pressure right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. A strong pickup of 11 keeps their drive alive.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. 3rd down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out, but his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. Touchdown, Carolina. A great play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Panthers are able to stretch out their lead. York now for the extra point.
And the lead is now 13. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself
how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Well, normally you see 3 tight ends in a formation. You have to think to yourself, this has got to be a run. And I know as a safety, when I saw that, I took an extra step or 2 towards the line of scrimmage. Instead, they threw the ball, and he found one of those tight ends for a very nice pickup.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack.
Miles Murphy. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And the Panthers will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line.
Well, those have been a problem for him all season, but never quite as much as they have in these last few minutes. Let's count it up now. A pair of picks on his team's last 2 drives and double-digit interceptions this season. I don't care if you're the best in the game or an undrafted rookie. You've got to take better care of the football or you're going to cost your team chances.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
2nd and 13. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll send the tight end in motion left.
Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception.
And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here, 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning into...
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. Back to throw now on first down. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Again, he'll drop to throw. And it's caught. Stopped short. Down at the 1. Had the broken tackle, but couldn't get it all the way home.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end. Take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half.
And the Steelers are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half.
These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes, because that's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds. So really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. Good starting position for the Panthers as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. A final shot before break. Daniels. Now he'll escape to his right. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they trail here to begin the second half. What's going to be a key for them to get back in the game?
I think they're right there, and I think this game is still up for the taking for them because we always talk about turnovers. They had 2 of them in the first half, and once you start talking about if you have 3, 4, or 5, you know it's beyond difficult to try and win a football game with that. Those have to be eliminated. If they take care of the ball, they've still got a shot.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
On first down, Mabry. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. From a couple of yards beyond midfield, here's 2nd and 8. Flushed out right. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd.
At this point in the second half, one mistake on a forced throw could doom your chances of a comeback. So that's the right call there to just throw that one away.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Taking it about the 16. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And the Panthers will take over now 1st and 10. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would, and in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Fast, slow, it doesn't matter. If you give a quarterback enough room to escape, he can hit you for a big gain. You've got to give him a little more focus moving forward.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. Daniels.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Play action, now it's Daniels.
Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for third.
Well, this has certainly turned into a showcase game for what he can do on the ground because they're just continuing to give him chances to run it, and he's earning every additional carry by putting up positive yardage on each run.
Got a man, that's Leggett. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now a 2nd and 10. They go play action. Daniels.
Flush to his right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
And when you're in a one-score game in the second half, now's not the time to force the football into places where you shouldn't. And that's a smart decision to just get that one out of there.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long. On 3rd down, they go with Brooks.
And he'll take this to the 47, but no further as they get him down well short of the line to gain. Here's the Panthers punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Throwing to start the drive. McLean firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. They'll run on 1st down. Mabry, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Escaping the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, NFL quarterbacks have learned the hard way. You're not going to get rich throwing against this guy. He's definitely too good. And this is now his 2nd interception of the ball game. And if I'm running the offense, I've got to tell my guys, you've got to go work on the other corner.
Got a man, that's Leggett.
And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Running their plays over and over during the week can often get robotic for an offense, but on game day they can often flow smoothly, as that one just did.
Here's Brooks.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
Here's 2nd and 8. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal.
Okay, ready? Dragon 60.
Brooks is in. Touchdown, Carolina. So he's in for his third score of the game, and defense probably saying, man, we don't want to see this guy for a long time.
It's bad enough when anyone scores a touchdown against you, but for one person to get 3, it almost sets him apart from the rest of the game, and no one likes to see any of those players on a pedestal, not from the defensive point of view.
The Panther offense staying put. They'll go for 2.
Come on.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn 1 here in this third quarter.
The York on now for the extra point.
And the lead is now 13. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down. Right back to him on first down.
Now he's loose down the left sideline. Inside the 10.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A big play there. 63 yards.
And the Steelers are able to get a score back in the final stages of this third quarter.
Well, I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Back now in Pittsburgh, where the fourth quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the third quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Oh, a good return up past the 30.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go.
Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10.
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On 1st and 10, it's Brooks.
And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory.
If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the fourth quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand. They're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
And he's going to be touched down, but he's got the first down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Up the middle with Brooks here. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. 50 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7 reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
It's complete downfield out left to his running back. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown.
Jonathan Brooks,
29 yards.
and the Panthers look like they're about to put an end to their two-game losing streak as they add on to their lead. York now for the extra point.
And the lead is now 13. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. We'll get a pause here. There appears to be a Panther who is shaken up on that last play.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him. One of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
A big play that time on the catch and run. 34 yards. On 1st down, Mabry. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
2nd and 3 from the 9.
Operating from the gun. McLean got his tight end. That's complete. It's West. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up.
While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Steelers have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th.
Joseph on for the extra point. And the lead will shrink to 6. Here's the Steelers kick team as they'll boot this one away.
And able to get this out to the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
That one complete to Legion. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 56 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. To the air goes Daniels. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Let's go now. Go.
Off the play fake. Daniels. On the move to his left. And he wisely will throw that one away.
And here you're down in the red zone. You need to be smart, not force anything. So that's a wise decision to just get rid of the football.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. They run out of the gun with Brooks here. And he's going to come up well shy of the 1st here as the tackle's made right around the 12.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive, take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
York able to send this one through. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Looking to throw. McLean eluding the pressure right. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. All 3 timeouts remain, but they've got to score quick. It's 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a 1st down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger. Go.
Back to throw again. Flush to his right. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
And while it's probably going to take a miracle at this stage, if they come down with this one in the end zone, they've still got a fighting chance. That one, however, winds up incomplete.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now.
They'll look to throw again. Wide open receiver complete. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. As the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Back to throw. McLean. Touchdown! From 6 yards away.
And the Steelers are back within a score.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
And it looks like the Panthers' hands team does its job. So we race the flag. They decline it.
And did they use the big eraser, or was that the one at the end of the number 2 pencil?
Well, I was thinking the 2x2-inch ones that you can buy and use in addition to the pencil.
And those last forever.
A long time.
No doubt.
Yeah, there we go. I think.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. And they take a knee. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. The Panthers down to a knee out of the victory formation.
A lot of pressure here for Cade York.
This to swell the lead to 6.
York able to send this one through.
And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here. He's back to throw. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
Probably time for 2 more shots, and ideally, they'd like to get to midfield or so they have a chance at a Hail Mary on the final play.
They'll come up now on 2nd down.
Let's go.
Back to throw. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there, picked up the 1st down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have, as well as you understand where they are in the field?
5 seconds, no timeouts. Here we go. One final shot. They'll look to throw. This for all the marbles. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, they got the tip. Final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffered the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.
So for the Panthers, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they'll have another road date next week with the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And now they'll head to the bye week as they'll be back in action in Week 8.
Entering accessibility screen, you have 19 options. Menu narration option is set to off is selected.